All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 363 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. My Georgia Southern Eagles just got knocked out of the regional, knocked out of the NCAA World Series tournament. Uh, for a baseball team that's out of Statesboro, they did a lot of big things. Won 40 games, hosted their own regional. I mean, what more could you ask for a team like that? Hopefully, this will springboard them to be better. Want to see how recruiting's going to be, see if they can reload and get back on it. Hopefully, we can get out of that first regional tournament. But nevertheless, congratulations to the Georgia Southern Eagles baseball team. Great season, 40 wins. I mean, what more could you ask for? Other than that, man, we're gonna be talking about some more Atlanta Falcons football. And today, if you are looking at the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, you see that we got a quarterback that's switching positions. I mean, we already had a cornerback to move the running back with Avery Williams. Now we looking at possibly Feleipe Franks moving from quarterback to tight end / wide receiver. So we're going to talk about that and everything on that umbrella because this could go a lot of ways. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Like I said, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. And Feleipe Franks was an undrafted quarterback from the University of Arkansas. He played at Florida, did pretty good for us. So put up some pretty good numbers, and I'm actually surprised. He's one of these guys. I'm actually surprised he was not drafted, but nevertheless, he played very, very little last year. Threw an interception in a preseason game. I want to say probably in a regular season as well. But with the signing of Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder, you're probably looking at a situation where Feleipe Franks is probably not going to be where he needs to be as far as the as far as the quarterback position goes. We're probably looking at a situation where he's going to be third on the depth chart, and just like any other quarterback, I would think they would do is to find a way to be on the team and make the team. And so he decided to move over to tight end. Now, like, this could go in so many different ways. So many different ways when you're looking at this whole situation with him moving over to tight end, maybe even wide receiver, standing at 6'7" or 6'6", almost 230 pounds. Got the size pretty much like a Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is a little bit more heavier than him, but nevertheless, he has the size to play. He runs a 4.5, so he can move. But does he have the hands? I mean, I think he was lined up at receiver a couple times last year when it comes to, it was mostly like preseason or whatever the case may be. So Arthur Smith's already had an eye for him to do this. And I'm actually interested in see how, he will actually do it with more reps or with a year under his belt being in the NFL. How does that play out? Like I said, also, this could mean a lot of different things. This could mean that Arthur Smith and him is giving him a chance and see what he could do. This also could mean that outside of Kyle Pitts, the rest of these tight ends, or they aren't doing what they, I ain't gonna say not doing what they need to do. They're just probably not living up to the expectation of the coach. So that's very interesting out of those two situations, because you got Anthony Fursker, you have a couple other tight ends that are here. Fitzpatrick is another one that is here. And you got guys that they look like they've been playing that position for pretty much their entire career. So to bring Feleipe Franks over, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens with this, because if he makes it and they want to make a spot for him at the tight end position, you're really looking at a bunch of towers that are catching the ball 6'3" and up. Pretty much makes up the entire roster of the receivers that are going to be on the field. And I'm talking about tight ends as well, because you got Kyle Pitts at 6'6". You got I can't remember what Fursker is, but Fitzpatrick's pretty tall. Then you got with Feleipe Franks. Like, I mean, man, what are we doing here? This looks like a situation where Arthur Smith is just continuously trying to get the tallest and most physical players out there to make some things happen. So I'm trying to figure out, where's all this is going, because there's a lot of moving and shaking with this team. There's a lot going on with this team, especially when you start looking at, just at the receiver point in general. you can start looking there. Then you start looking at running back, where we're moving a guy from the defense and moving him to running back. We still don't know what the makeup of this front seven is going to be. So it is a lot going on here, and I'm trying to figure out how long is this going to last. Is this just still a process where we're looking at everybody on the roster, and then once the real training camp comes in and the real practices come in and the preseason comes in, you're going to start seeing a lot of people cut. What does this mean for Feleipe Franks? Is this his last go round to be on the team? If he doesn't make it at tight end, if he doesn't do well at tight end, does this mean that he's not going to be on the team anymore? Which I wouldn't put it past him at this point, because a lot of teams now they run a 2 quarterback set on a depth chart. And I'm not saying like 2 quarterbacks set, like one in and on the field and one not, and vice versa. It's like literally like on the depth chart, a lot of teams now are just running with 2 quarterbacks. They're not necessarily having the 3 like it used to be. They use that other slot position for something else. So with that being said, will this slot position be for Feleipe Franks, and he just stays on the team regardless? You may have like 4 or 5 tight ends, but if you lose that one, use one of those slots for the quarterback, instead of having 3 quarterbacks, you may have 4 tight ends. Does it play out the way it should? I just find it very interesting, because there's a lot of innovative things that are going on with the Falcons. There are a lot of different things that are going on. Things that you don't really think that's going to happen with your team end up, it's kind of going on right now. So by the time at the end of, maybe August or the middle of August, I ain't going to say the end of August, but the middle of August, we're going to pretty much get a feel of what is going on with this team. And I think with that being said, you may not see a person like Feleipe Franks on the team at the end of the season, at the end of the preseason or the beginning or the off season. You may not see him on the team, because I think at this point, honestly, I think he doesn't really. I thought they were going to use him to fit the mold of what they want to do as far as offensively. But now when you got Desmond Ridder and Marcus Mariota here, I'm not sure. They're more suited to this offense than Feleipe Franks is. So why not try him out there at the receivers? I mean, I don't think you can have enough receivers, right? I don't think you have enough. So put him out there. 6'6", 6'7". Let's go out, like I was saying on Smitty shows, Smitty Sports Machine. Shout out to him. I said, look, you got these guys going up out there and try to catch footballs. It's either going to be completions or flags. Which one you want? I mean, everybody can't cover everybody, not with all the size on the field. The Auden Tates and Kyle Pitts and, it's just going to be tough. Braylon Edwards, and then not Braylon Edwards. Oh my God. Brian Edwards and Drake London. I mean, you're not going to be able to cover all of that. Even if you got it covered, somebody's going to be lacking with all that size. So this is something that you need to, I mean, I can say you guys know what you're talking about. But it's something that people need to really understand. Like, this could be a really, really cool move where you just have another body that's just going to be big and tall and actually be athletic. And also, I don't think Feleipe Franks is going to be, I don't think he's going to be like a blocking, type of tight end. I think they got a couple of tight ends already for that. That doesn't mean he doesn't have to go out there and be physical, because there can be times when these receivers and these tight ends are going to actually be blocking for the running back. So it may be a situation where he has to. But, knowing him, not actually knowing him, but looking at his makeup and the type of player he is, he's probably going to be one of those type of guys to go out, tell him to go up and get the ball. And that's like basically what Kyle Pitts was doing. Go up there and get the ball. Once Cordell Patterson go out there to wide receiver, go up there and get the ball. And he's going to have his picks, either, what's his name, Mariota or Ridder. They're going to have to pick of the litter, like who they want to throw it to today, who they want to throw it to on this play, who they want to throw it to on that play. And like I said, I think at the end of the day, it's a really, really pretty cool situation for the Falcons to have. So before I close, I want to say this. Like I said, this is going to be a good problem, but I also want to figure out, is there everything going okay with the tight end position, because now if Feleipe Franks is coming over to tight end, what does that mean for the other tight ends that are there? Now I know, like I said, Schaefer and you got Fitzpatrick, you could have a handful of tight ends that actually, are more than capable of doing the job, but if Feleipe Franks coming over to the tight end position, does that mean that the competition for tight end number 2 or tight end number 3 is that wide open? It's not necessarily solidified, because we already know tight end 1. We already know who that is. But what does that really mean? Can Feleipe Franks do the job? I think he can do the job. I don't think it's far-fetched for him to make the transition. I mean, he's a pretty good athlete. And for some reason, they got him over this whole. I guess he can catch. I haven't seen him catch a pass. Do anybody know? I don't know. I just think that it's a good move, because the more bodies, the better. But the thing is I think it's a good move because we have the bodies to do so. It's not necessarily a need. We don't need him to play tight end. We don't need him to produce. We have enough bodies, even if there's trouble with tight end 2 or whatever, we have enough bodies to say, hey, we can put Feleipe Franks here and see how it goes, because Kyle Pitts and the other guys can do enough. Now, if none of this plays out, do Frisker and Fitzpatrick, do they keep the jobs, or will there be a situation where we may get another tight end? I mean, how does that play out? I mean, I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, it's kind of a weird situation. You don't hear too many tight ends moving over. I mean, too many quarterbacks moving over to tight end. The last time we heard about this was Tim Tebow, and yeah, you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, you see how that goes. Now, if anything, and I know this is kind of weird, but it's not really weird. I would not mind seeing Troy Anderson try out for tight end. That dude's a real athlete. I mean, he's actually shown that he can do all these things. He's done it in college, but I doubt if that's the case. I think they're going to strictly use him at the linebacker position, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. I also wouldn't be surprised if they put him in other places on defense, but I think he's just going to be mostly on defense. I think that's what Dean Pease and company really want to use him at. And but when it comes to Feleipe Franks, I'm looking like, all right, what are we doing here? Is this going to be a situation where he's actually going to be used as a tight end? Is he going to be used for gadget plays? What is he going to be used for? I'm more leaning towards that he's going to be a bona fide tight end. I don't see anything else outside of that. Will they throw it to him? It'd be like a double pass or something like that. Maybe, because they've tried that with Cordell Patterson, so I would not be surprised, but I don't think he's going to be primarily used for that situation. It'll be like, hey, he's going to be used for this play when he comes in the game. They may even try him out to actually be a legit tight end on the other side of Kyle Pitts. It doesn't seem like it's a bad idea, but when you look at the whole thing, it's like, if they need to use him, is it because the other two aren't, but they're not, panning out well? I think Fitzpatrick is, he's still a rookie, so the jury's still out on him. And first guy actually played okay, and I think we have a couple other tight ends, but those are the only two that really comes to mind when I think about something like that. But I don't know. I just think that whatever that Arthur Smith is doing a pretty good job. I think that, moving guys around and getting them in places for them to be successful is one of the things I always talk about, especially when it comes to Georgia Southern football. You always want to move people around for they to be successful in the position that they're in. You just don't want to put them in a position just because you want them there. You want to put them in a position to actually be pretty good. So with that being said, I think this is going to be a pretty decent look overall for the Falcons in general, because the more bodies, the better. The main thing is I just want to see how Feleipe Franks actually performs in practice, because he's been practicing with the team with the tight ends in that position on the practice field. So I want to see how he actually does, because I've seen him line up a couple times last year, but it was nothing to say, okay, this is something that it wasn't enough body work to actually assess and say, hey, this could be something. I actually want to see him do it. So it's going to be interesting to see. If this is your first time here, if you like this content, hit the like button, share this content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm on YouTube and Rumble if you want to listen to the visuals or watch the visual side of this. Hey, we're moving right along, man. We're a little bit over 1140. We're doing a pretty good job with growing the podcast and growing the channel. You guys are amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully you can start off your Monday in the proper channels. All the links are down in the description if you want to support. And I really appreciate you guys. I really, really do. We're going to keep chugging along and get ready for Tuesday and talk some more Atlanta Falcons and or Georgia Southern football based on the news that comes out. But Feleipe Franks turning from wide receiver to returning from quarterback to wide receiver and tight end. So he's going to be moving on, and we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully you guys will continue to watch and check this out. Give me all your feedback in the comment section. Let me know how you guys think. And I will see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy your Monday. All right, y'all. Peace.